Hey, what's up, guys? WhirlXbow back here, and today I'm doing something that I've been sitting on. I think it was posted in the comments like 2 weeks ago. I've been sitting on this deck since then, just because I'll be honest, I'm really nervous to play this deck because I have a feeling it's gonna go miserably. But this is Mechathun Rogue. It's an APM deck from the looks of it. You guys know how good I am at APM decks. And from the looks of it, it looks pretty skill intensive. With small things such as you need to play the Wild Pyro 2 spells, or 1 spell before you play the Mechathun, or else the Wild Pyro will survive. And I don't normally get nervous when I'm playing a deck, but I'm pretty fucking nervous playing this one, I won't lie. So, with that being said, let's give it a try. Let's do our best. And I would be happy with 1 win today. So with that being said, let's queue it up. And I'll see y'all in the first game.
Valera versus Illidan. Who next shall taste my blades?
Stay in the shadows.
Alright, hey, sorry about that. I was just grabbing a beverage. You know I always gotta have that beverage, right? Alright, you know, I'm down to actually put Mechathun at the bottom with this. I think that's fine. We just hope we don't draw patches, right? Like, anything besides patches should be a fine draw. Okay. I actually did have one thing I want to talk about, because I don't believe I've talked about it yet. And if I did, sorry about that, but actually before we dive into that, I'm gonna say I hope everybody has a beverage, and I'm actually gonna open my beverage. Well, now I kind of regret putting my Mechathun at the bottom so you have Anka in hand, but hey, it is what it is. So, what I wanted to talk about, I now have my beverage. Who's this? We're playing pretty slowly, but he's also not doing much, so I feel safe doing that, if that makes sense. So yeah, I want to talk about the whole new commander tier list. For those who have not heard and don't necessarily keep up with Magic the Gathering news, you guys don't play Magic. They recently released a new tier list system that my guess is they want. Sorry about this. So this should be at 2. We can do this into this and to kill this. Alright. So in EDH, they released a new, how do you call it? Yeah, basically a new tier list where they made it so there's like rules, right? So normally when you'd go play Commander at a bigger event. Are you serious? Are you serious? Those hits were nuts. I just did. I do have another weapon in my deck. I'm pretty sure we're just dead here. Like, actually, unironically, fucked. I'm gonna hold that just in case. But, yeah, so their new tier list thing is basically there's 5 levels of deck. You used to say your deck is between a power level of 1 to 10, but your power level is very, very subjective. Now they kind of put rules towards what decks are what power level, if that makes sense. What the fuck was that? I don't think it can actually win this game. Feels bad. One, two.
Give me that. Look what I won.
Without a trace.
I'm gonna try my best to survive here, but it's not looking too great. Having not drawn things like prep or anything like that, it feels really bad. But yeah. So, also not having been able to play this toy boat with no more pirates left in my deck feels really fun. I miss playing this deck. I can tell that for sure. Yeah, so now basically what they try to do is make it a lot less subjective. So it's like, alright, if your deck is not playing any of these cards, it's this power level. If you're doing this in your deck, it's one higher. If you're also doing this in your deck, it's a little bit higher. So on and so forth. The issue, again, I have a feeling there are some people that like it, and again, I don't want to take anything away from those people. Let's just do this. Again, there's not much in my deck I can hit that's like really, really good. But fuck.
I don't have enough mana.
Listen to that. Like, that was so bad. Let me get Spired off the top. Oh, no. I'm still technically alive. So, yeah. Fuck, I'm trying to focus on what I'm talking about. Oh, that's good enough. I feel like this deck can potentially beat some of the slower control decks, but it's gonna have basically a 0% chance to beat these super fast aggro decks. Even though he had a slowish start, his shots with the cannons were way too fucking good for us to be able to beat it easily. So, yeah. Anyways, let's skip the next one, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to finish up my conversation. Alright. This is potentially a matchup where I can actually do what the deck wants to do. I feel like we hard mull here for what's her name? The ship. The pirate ship. Please. So yeah. Let me focus on what I want to say. Okay, I should have also potentially have thought about this before queuing this up. But so yeah. The new tier list is basically you have your pre-constructed decks, right, which are set at a tier 2. Anything weaker than a tier 2, so you think of like the all legendary deck, right? If you guys remember from way back in the day, I believe it was Kripparrian that made a deck that was all it was all legendary cards, right? Where that was like basically weaker than the pre-constructed decks that Blizzard had made at the time. So think of it like that, right? So you have like some weird theme, like say you want to build like pirate ships as a deck, right? For all those who play Magic, I think there's 2 of them in the game, right? So like that's like your tier 1. It's like your jank decks that are not playing any real powerful cards. You're just playing cards you like. Then you have your tier 2. Does he have the swipe? Thank God. I just realized my whole board has 1 health. I was about to be a little upset. Then you have your tier 2, which are your pre-constructed decks, and your decks on similar power level. Then you have your tier 3 decks, which are your good decks, but not playing any of, like, the broken cards, right? You still have that list of cards that are deemed too powerful by Wizards of the Coast, which to me is a little bullshit. Closer in my hand now. And then you have your tier 4, which is basically you have access to everything. Then you have your tier 5, which is also access to everything, but mindful to a meta. Personally, I think it's doesn't really make all too much sense. But yeah, so like that's like the rules behind everything. Um, I have the issue is you, for all those who know anything about Magic, and again, you guys can tell me if you guys disagree with me, because I personally think the new way they're doing it is worse than the old way. At least because of what I've heard. They never really gave any extra information about it. I know that might not make sense to everyone, but basically look at it this way. They didn't tell us, like, one of the wordings they use, right, is you're allowed to play few tutors. Okay? What the fuck is your definition of a few tutors? Right? Because to me, a few tutors is like 4 or 5. More than that, you're playing a couple tutors, but a few is like 3 to 5. I feel like that's like in a few. But also, what do you count as a tutor? Right? Because don't forget, Magic is not like Hearthstone where you don't get lands every single turn. Therefore, cards that go get you lands, are those considered tutors? Is a tutor delegated to anything that lets you search your library? Because if that's the case, we really need to know what the number of a few is. Because they have the same ruling for tier 2, which is your precons, and I believe there are a couple of precons that come with like 6, 7 land tutors. Plus the Revolving Wilds, plus their Terra Market expanse. Which, hear me out, ends up being a couple more than a few tutors, at least in my opinion. Let's do this. I need to play out the rest of my hand. Do this. I want to keep my coins, but I want to get rid of some of the things in my hand that are a little bit weaker. So yeah. Basically, like, there's so many dumb things with it. And the list of cards they made. Alright, it's like, hear me out. We're making a list of the most powerful cards from every single class. Mage, they leave off Ice Block. They leave off, you know, Wild Growth and Guff from Druid. They leave off, like, basically, all the most powerful cards are just not on the list. Why? No one fucking knows. But they're not there. I need him to wipe my board. Also, I need to kill something with 2 health. Give me coin, please, one time. I hate this game. I also have to kill off Anka. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be dead to some Guff combo. Like some Druid combo. But I would really like him to play something here. So I can at least lose my board. Go Anka. I have my 2 spells for this. This dies to the trigger of this. So I basically just need 1 turn where I can have this die off. Bounce this. Trade off my entire board. Is kind of the dream. Actually, I just need him to kill, like, 2 spots. I actually just need him to kill my board. I'm just gonna do this.
I'm free, and so is my curse.
Oh Oh my god, if he doesn't play a minion here, I definitely lose the game. But yeah, so like the list of cards, it's like, okay, yeah, we put some of the good cards. Am I actually just dead? I'm so sad. I'm actually so fucking sad. He played one Sleep Under the Stars. I might just be dead to burn anyways, but he used some of his burn. Oh, he actually hit the second Sleep Under the Stars. Basically gives him infinite mana. I guess I have to hope now that he missed on burn somehow. Or am I just dead? Actually hit. He had one burn spell left in his deck. 14 spells. Unlucky. We were so close. We were one turn away. Feels bad. I made too many tokens with the 1/3. Fuck. This deck is real hard to pilot. I want one win. I also want to finish my thoughts on this fucking magic thing. It's something that I've talked to a couple people about it, and they're all like, this is fucking ridiculous. This makes less than no sense. And I'm about to explain to you guys why in my head it makes less than no sense, and why in my head it's still completely up to the honor system, and not like the tiers they gave are bullshit. Like, I could scam the fuck out of a lot of people using their rules, and I wouldn't technically be wrong. Anyways, with that being said, let's skip the next one, and let's talk about it. I guess, yeah, I'll see y'all there. Alright. So, fuck, I was like sweating, so I took off my hoodie, and now I'm freezing. I hate my life. Alright, so now, okay, people are either gonna say I'm an asshole for thinking this way, or people are gonna be like, no, you're absolutely right. This shit makes no fucking sense. So I feel fine saying it. If we follow their rules, right? There's a card in Magic. It's 5 mana. So 5 mana, 4/7, right? Don't forget, Magic, your creatures also don't keep damage between turns. Alright? So there's a card that's 5 mana. So 4/7 with Vigilance, which means in Magic, I could choose to block when you attack. You're attacking me, you're not attacking my minions. And this is a 4/7 that says cards entering the battlefield under your control trigger twice. Any effect. So say your battle cries will trigger twice. It's a brand for you. It says cards entering the battlefield don't cause stuff your opponent's control to trigger. So I don't know, say, okay, here, let's take Anka, doesn't do anything on, its ETB does nothing. Can you see how this card is, if you're new to the game, this card is annoying as fuck to play against it. Trust me, I've both played it a lot, and I've played against it a lot. It's really annoying, and every single time I've played it, even in competitive fields, people are like, I fucking hate playing against that card. It's not fun. But this card isn't on the list. Which means if I build a deck that has no mass land destruction or denial, is how the words they used. So that's basically, again, because Magic doesn't have, I meant to coin first. Whoops. So as I was saying, right? In Magic, I don't get a land every single turn. So one of the things for like the super casual level is you can't deny your opponent's lands. I get that. Land destruction is not fun to play against. Land denial is not fun to play against. Trust me, I queued up to at Command Fest when I went 2 years back, 3 years back, whenever Double Masters 2 came out. I played against a guy, and me and my brother, we purposely queued up casual. Because we wanted to play our more for fun decks, you know, not be too serious about anything. Just kind of have fun, you know? Fuck around, have fun, and not worry about it. Which I feel like is something that a lot of people would like to do sometimes, right? Yes, we both have competitive decks. Yes, we can both play competitive, but we're in the mood to play some casual Magic. So we queue up, and then we sit down and like, hey, okay, guys, what's everybody playing? You know, in my opinion, the respectful thing to do, right? Because you don't want to sit down and pub stomp, right? That's not what I want to do. I want to go and play my big dumb idiot gods and have fun. Guy, I'm playing Mechathun. I'm not playing aggro. I'm talking as well. All right, I'm gonna finish this story in the next game. Alright, guys, yeah, let's queue it up. All right. So getting back to it, okay. I'm gonna get a little sidetracked real quick. I always say we'll be right back, right? Because for me, like, there's the queue time, right? Or I'll go grab a drink and I'll come back, I'll sit down and I'll queue the game up. So for me, it's like 30 seconds a minute between games, right? But I also, it clicked in my head a couple days back. It's like, well, for you guys, it's like instant. So I probably should say we'll be right back, and you know, like I'll be right back or whatever, or I'll see you there. That's the one I typically say. Yeah, that clicked in my head. But anyways, not getting sidetracked by that. So yeah, so we sat down, and a guy's like, "Oh yeah, I just bought this new precon. I put in like 2-3 cards, so it's basically still just a precon." And we're like, "Okay." So my big dumb god deck, right? There's a creature type in Magic the Gathering called Gods, and I personally really like them. I have a lot of fun playing them. It's pretty slow, and also most of my creatures are not creatures unless certain criteria are met. So it's not great. I really like it, and I have a lot of fun playing it, and it's my single most expensive deck because it's almost all foil. But it's a little bit more casual. So like, okay, I'll play that. My brother picks his like another new deck he just built. It's also theming was just like, I want to play some big dumb idiots, and that's what he's doing. The fourth guy in our pod is like, okay, yeah, I'll play my more casual deck. So we're like, all right, perfect. We're all playing here just to have fun. Let's have some good quality games of Magic. And so we sit down, and I flip my commander, my brother flips his commander, the guy flips his precon commander. We're like, oh, this looks sick. The other guy flips one of the top 5 commanders in the game. And we're just kind of looking at him like, yo, we said we're playing casual. He's like, oh yeah, no, my Urza deck is just about playing big artifacts. It's not great. And we're like, all right, you know what? Let's take him at his word. He ends up playing more money than like a base version of all of our decks on turn 1. Plus a card that says non-basic lands don't untap. So in Magic, there's these things called non-basic lands, which are, you know, they're say a land that's 2 colors, right? You have your basic lands, which are 1 for each of your 5 colors, and technically colorless now. But he played a card that just says basically any other land that's not a forest, swamp, plains, mountain, island, or waste won't untap. And we kind of just look at him like, yo, what the fuck, guy? We're here to have fun, and you're doing this. He's like, yeah, this is my more casual deck. And we're like, alright, well, fuck this, you know. We all pick up our cards, we're like, yeah, you win, good job. And, like, none of us had actually played a game. And we just said, fuck it, let's just play a game, us 3. And the guy was super bitter about it. And we're like, me and my brother are like, alright, you want to play competitive? Let's play competitive. He's like, okay, I'll grab my other competitive deck. He ends up dying on turn 2 and saying that we're players that don't like having fun. He got super mad. And we're like, bro, like, what the fuck? So, the new rule set, and I'm glad that Wizards is doing it, is trying to prevent that from happening. And the issue is, and I kind of want to do it because I want to prove, like, that this new thing is completely dumb. there are so many cards that I know of that are old and really toxic that I can play. Like, put it this way, one of my favorite cards is a card that says, whenever a creature comes into play, sacrifice a creature. So, basically, if you have no creatures, you cannot play a creature. There's another one that says, if a creature comes into play, sacrifice a creature or a land. Right? So it's not mass land denial, because you have the option of sacrificing the other thing. Right? Like, in my head, that's how this works. It's such a bad card to hit. That's fine.
Give me that. Not what I want.
I have to do this here. I hope that doesn't reset my Mechathun. It absolutely does. Fuck me dead. Okay, this changes a lot in my plays for this game. Let's do this here. Okay, so in our head, in my head, these cards are allowed by the rules they set. So I could build what I would claim as a super casual enchantment-based deck, which both those cards are enchantment plays, and play a whole bunch of other, like, super toxic enchantments. Right? Shit that says, like, if you play a card, you take damage. You know? You can't gain life. Anytime something goes to your graveyard, you take damage. But basically, I could take that deck, cut, like, 7 cards, and even then, I only realistically have to cut 3 cards, because in my head, a few tutors, I'm allowed to play 3. Technically, I have to cut 2 of the tutors, because they're on the restricted list. But yeah, like, I could technically do that, and it would be at the lowest level possible. Would it be fair to play that against other super low power level decks? The answer to that is no. Absolutely fucking not. Is that in the flavor of the rules? No. Again, but can I do it? The answer is yes. So, in my head, right, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but this actually doesn't fucking work. I hate my life. Okay, well. I forgot Mechathun also no longer has 1 health. I should have played Anka that early. But yeah. So in my head, the new system changes fuck all, except for it made a list of like 20-25 cards unplayable against super weak decks, which I also get. The problem is that list of cards is also, as I was saying, right, with Elishnorn, that creature, the 4/7 creature I was talking about, doesn't change shit, right? As much as I would say I would love to see it change something, it realistically doesn't.
I'm out of cards.
So, I'm done. 8. I mean, Xerxes. Maybe he kills the Mechathun. Because I get a good coin Mechathun next turn. Maybe he kills it out of respect. I don't fucking know. But so yeah, there's a whole bunch of cards where they're not on the list, and there's other cards that I feel like shouldn't be on the list, even though yes, they're really powerful cards. Like, for anybody who knows Magic, I know a lot of people that play the high-end formats, right? I know people that play Vintage, I know people that play Legacy, and I know a lot of people. Right, I'm in a pretty large community when it comes to these. That's exactly feels bad. But I could name you one person, probably out of like 150 people that I've met throughout my life that play Magic and that play like these older formats that own a Tabernacle. 1 in 150. I know that's not the biggest sample size, but my buddy that plays a lot more than me and plays a lot more with this format probably has met over 1,000 people, and he could name 2, right? So the fact that Tabernacle is on this list doesn't make any sense. First of all, the card is $6,500. That is the price of a used car, if not more than a used car. And yet, it's on this list. To me, this doesn't make sense. Again, I would not have Tabernacle. I would rather other cards be on that list instead. Oh, there's a Pyromancer achievement. Didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. And there's a couple other cards that are just like, why the fuck is Vorinclex and Jinky Taxis on that list, but Elish Nord isn't? Yet Protein Hulk isn't? Yet, like, pick one of a whole bunch of things. Why are they not on the list? When, like, weak cards are? And, it's just annoying. And I think it's gonna lead to a lot more people being disingenuous overall than it's going to lead to people being honest. Because unless you use a calculator, and again, I don't know how accurate these calculators are going to be. I'm actually planning on trying them out a little bit later tonight, just so I can see if the calculators make sense, right? Because I have a pretty understanding feeling of where my deck should be. Like, my Omnath deck technically follows the rules to be on the lowest level, but it's like a 4.5. Like, it's up there. It's like, it's pretty good, right? There's a couple multiple card infinite combos. In the rules, it says no 2-card infinite. I'm playing like 6-card infinite combos. And I'm playing like 2 tutors that are not including ramp spells. And like, technically, again, that's at a 1. But it's really not a 1. Like, it's like the furthest thing I could think from a 1. And hey, again, I'm excited because there's a big Magic tournament coming up soon where there's gonna be Commander Pods where I live, and I'm excited to see how well this works, because in my head it doesn't work at all. But maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised where the people are actually be very honest, and we don't have to show people our entire deck lists before a game starts, you know? But, anyways, thank you for listening to me rant about Magic the Gathering, even though it was very discombobulated, and I should probably make a video where I actually line up my thoughts a little bit more structured than just doing it on the fly. Because it is something that I want a lot more people's opinion on this, because again, everybody I've talked to be fair, I've only talked to 3 Commander players about it, and I've talked to like 5 or 6 other people, and like I've had them read the explanation by wizards and whatnot. And like this shit makes no fucking sense. And my Commander player buddies are also in the same boat. So I just like to get your guys' opinion. For all those who play Commander or that play Magic, I'm gonna try to remember to link the article that Wizards post in the description. And maybe even if you're a Hearthstone player and you don't understand all the ins and outs of Magic, comment what you guys think, just because, again, card games are kind of interchangeable in my opinion. Like, if with the base knowledge of some card games, you should be able to kind of predict, like, what's good and what's bad. Obviously, there's some outliers. But I feel like if you're good enough at Magic or you're good enough at Hearthstone, you could kind of get the power level of certain cards, right? Like, I feel like everybody could understand that Elish Norn is a broken card that sounds super annoying to play against. And yeah. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys did, definitely leave a like and subscribe. As always, follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Oh, I didn't give thoughts about the deck. Deck is really cute. Way too big brain for me. And I'm going to leave it at that. Anyways, with that being said, now I'm going to end it off. Peace.